happy Halloween or happy New Year for the fellow Merc riders out there. I wanted to drop in and do a special unboxing today and do a little reading on the fly to see what wants to come out. It is pretty traditional at this time of year to do a little divination, peer beyond the veil of what is unknown and see if we can grok the future a bit. So I thought it would be fun to bring that in, but I also just wanted to share a really interesting experience I had on the way to getting this deck. I got this deck from this sweet little sugar shack, and it's in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, and it's called Kitty Deluxe. All right, I'm not making any dough off of this. I just really like this place and I like the people who run it. It's a small business, so I like supporting small businesses. And I got a little, spending money, a little dough from my folks back home, my mom and dad, and I wanted to treat myself for my birthday. And I had planned on heading in there, and I decided to go today to get myself a little treat. It felt fitting on Halloween to go and get myself a little treat. And I was hoping to either find like an amulet or maybe a deck or something. And I was just gonna kind of let whatever came my way, come my way. And I would know it was the right choice, the right thing to pick up once I saw it. And I definitely found it here, the Herbal Astrology Oracle. It's by Adriana Ayales, okay? I'll have to tell you more about that in a minute because I want to sort of give a little insight into what led me to go there and pick this up today. Once I saw it, I knew this was the right one. I had an interesting message come in for me, and it was from Tejetes. And it was almost like Tejetes, the spirit of Tejetes, Mexican marigold, was wanting me to do a reading, like grok the messages of the plant, to do a reading. And I was like, I need to start doing this. Like, the plant medicine has been coming in for me for a long time. But what's really interesting to me is I am not a green thumb at all. I'm so horrible with tending to plants. It's just not my medicine. It's not my strong suit. I will definitely put an end to any life when it comes to keeping a plant alive. And I mean, I've tried so hard. And I can't seem to get it right. It's just, it's not my thing. It's not my medicine. And yet the plants court me. The plants court me. The plants come in for me all the time. I have them come in my dreams. They come as characters. They introduce themselves to me. And then I start to dive in waking life, or what it really is waking, what is dreaming, who knows. But in my day-to-day life, I then follow up on the information I got in the dream, and it's always just so potent, so potent. So, you can be not a green thumb like me. You can be the place that plants come to transition like I am. And it doesn't mean that you can't still have a connection to the plants. And so this is something I had thought of doing a while ago, and I just never followed up on it. I wanted to do readings from the plant spirits, whatever ones came through for the collective, and just give a little wart cunning, a little medicine that way. And I thought this was an interesting message to come in. I had it come in the small hours, just as the veil parted, and it was quite interesting. Mexican marigold, all about letting go of attachments, releasing things at the root, right? And as I was walking to Kitty Deluxe to go and just see what was there, this was in my mind. And I saw this, I thought it was a monarch butterfly. I did. I thought it was a monarch butterfly flying through the sky. We have a really blustery day out here today. There's a gale warning in this area, and I sure hope those winds pick up because I love those wild winds. And I definitely plan on going out and drinking it in tonight because I enjoy that. I love this time of year. Fall is my favorite season. But I thought it was a monarch because I see them quite often out here actually, which is really nice to see monarchs, you know, still thriving out here. That encourages me. And monarchs are the ancestors. They're the ancestors in tribal tradition in the United States. They're the ancestors migrating. And I thought I saw, a monarch. It looked like that. It looked like this big monarch just flying so gracefully, just floating on the breeze. And I looked closer and it was actually a fallen leaf. And I thought that was such a beautiful message of falling away and also the beauty of transformation, as well as the beauty in the time that we have, because we have such a limited space of time in this experience. And this is a moment to really sink in on this day and merge with the timelessness. It's when there's not as much distinction between what's behind the veil and what's here in the present. It's very liminal space, and I believe liminal spaces are spaces of potentiality. They're really potent places of creative power and activation for manifestation. And I thought that was just such beautiful imagery to come through, that I thought this fallen leaf, something that had fallen away and was being released, was a monarch butterfly flying, and just all the imagery that came in with that. It spoke so much of that inception point and birth, life, death, rebirth, and the transformational cycle. I just thought it was a really beautiful message. And then I went in Kitty Deluxe, and yes, I found this Herbal Astrology Oracle, and I was like, ooh, the plants are wanting to talk. So I thought, since it is pretty customary at this time to do a little divination, I wanted to bring this in. But I also wanted to bring in a little passage. This is just kind of like, I want to share the deck with you and talk with you and drop in with you. I just kind of want to hang out for a moment. I just want to hang out for a moment. So, my dear friend Arbibo sent me this gift for my birthday. It's the wee moon, and it's for 2025. And I love the imagery on the front. Look, it already looks like that connectivity and web weaving there, dreaming things into being, the seeds that were planted, how those seeds are protected and nurtured. I'm loving the imagery on the cover there. But I thought I would go ahead and see what they have written in here for Samhain next year. Samhain, Halloween, again, depending on which side of the hedge you ride, okay? And I wanted to share this because I just thought it was really cool. And it's a two-part. I actually went and looked on the date of my birthday, which is October 13th, since I had purchased this for myself as a birthday gift, and this was a birthday gift to me. So I kind of wanted to peer ahead, you know, to next year's energy and just see what came in here. This is something that is put together by Mother Tongue Inc. And it's really popular back where I'm from Sonoma County, California. Like, everybody gets this ahead of time, and there's all kinds of poetry and artwork contributed to it, and it's just people sharing their writing and sharing their creative expression. And so I'll definitely let you know who wrote the pieces, but there's two pieces I want to read to you here before we dive into the cards. This one is, "Oh, ancestors, I wonder where you are, you who held a song for every moment, for the first snow, for the nettle patch, the vegetable garden, and the deer hunt, for the birth of your first child and your last. I pass a small candle around the circle to offer thanks for the sun's long walking, and now here, a standing still. And you here to light this candle with me?" Everyone takes turns holding the candle, watching the flicker, all silent, because no one knows what to say. And then, there you are, and I start to sing. That is by Geneva Tolan, and she wrote this in 2023. It's really beautiful. Really beautiful. I love it. And then there's this artwork here. It's called Family of Light by Hope Reborn, 2023, again there. So sharing stories around the fire. That's something that's really cool that happens out here that I didn't see go down back home out here in Michigan. A lot of the people create fire pits in their front yards, and so there's all these fires going through the neighborhood, and I really enjoy that. Just seeing people gathered around the fire on this night, it's really cool. It's just an interesting tradition. It's interesting how different places have their traditions, and I appreciate that. And then this one is called The Witch in the Forest, which I feel like is so perfect, just with what came in, just the plant medicine coming through and coming across this deck that's connected to plant medicine. It's just like that energy of Mexican marigold, which is used to honor the ancestors on Dias de los Muertos. And it is a plant that is about transformation and those life cycles and release and regeneration. It's all of those energies wrapped up with spirit of honor and celebration. And I just thought it was just so perfect and fitting. And it reminds me a lot of the Baba Yaga energy, who really is like a wise old crone medicine woman, you know. She knows the plants very well. I mean, she rides in her mortar and pestle through the sky, you know, and then she knows how to make the medicine, you know. And so I love that rootsy wild wisdom. And I started to read this and I was like, oh, this is such a perfect enchantment for tonight. That's what it feels like, just to really invoke the spirit of this season. So I wanted to bring this in. It's called The Witch in the Forest. I am the witch in the forest. Want a cookie? I'm famous for my ginger snaps. No one can eat just one. They may have transformative powers and properties. You may stop hiding your wings or scales or fur-tipped ears and let your wildness out. You may realize the power of your voice or the balm of your kindness, or they may reveal your greed, small-mindedness, and secret hatreds. Look into my magic mirror. It will mock your patronizing self-importance until you lose all your hot air, or it will reflect your true beauty. I am the witch in the wilderness. Sometimes I taste the future. Sometimes I dream true dreams. I speak the stories the world needs to hear, revealing the pain, the art, the injustice, and the beauty. I am the witch in the wasteland. I have danced with death in the moonlight, the kindest of the endless. I sat in the lap of the goddess, orbiting the outer reaches of the solar system, singing to the rhythm of the spheres. I am the witch in the wild wood. Let me give you tea. I make potions and lotions, spells and cantrips. I break hexes and curses. I bandage knees and sing broken souls to sleep. I am the witch of hidden glades. I have a book of secrets to excavate dark desires and free you from the pain of longing. I know blood and bone and sinew. Let me open you to the pleasure of being alive. When I am called to adventure, I bring the forest with me as boon and protection. I know star charts and moon phases, the best times for planting, harvesting, and reaping. I can help put your garden to sleep when winter comes. I have a compass and amulets. My pen is sharp and ready for battle. Call on me. It's by Megan D. Robinson. Wrote that in 2022. I love it. I love it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I love that energy that she brought through her words there. And I was thinking about how funny it was because I initially went to Kitty Deluxe because I was going to buy myself an amulet. That was my plan for today. And she brought in that piece about amulets. And I'm like, oh, so is this the compass? Because it says I have a compass and amulets. So this must be the compass. I thought that was quite interesting. The way all of this sort of like tied together and came in. And then the piece that brought in about the astrology, and this is astrology based. So I loved that energy. I wanted to just bring that in, just bring in a little spirit of the season. I thought it was appropriate. And I also want to go ahead and do a little cleansing of this deck with some bay leaf before we open it up and have a look at it. Because it's just appropriate. I think I'll be using this deck quite a bit. I got quite a few magical things to bring forward with me into the new year. I have this amazing new, let's call it a grimoire, from Star Tree Dancer that is just so cherished. I love this. This was another birthday gift, and it's got keys and baubles and all things fairy, and it's jam-packed with so many mystical, magical things, and I love it so, so much. I treasure this. Really freaking cool. I'm so stoked to use this and bring all my dreams to life in it. I'm going to use it for a very special purpose. So I really love that gift. But I got some really cool stuff that came in here. And I really look forward to working with these new magical implements in the next year, because I know they're going to bring a lot of transformation to my life. It's pretty customary tonight to kind of bring in that blessing energy. Of course, it's a time for honoring your ancestors, but it's also a wonderful time to, you know, consecrate any special items that you have received or that you want to charge up with certain intentions, and just bring in that blessing energy around them. Really cool. And we'll go ahead and just send a little bit of that bay leaf your guys' way too. It's good medicine. Clears out all the heaviness, clears out all of the downer energy, you know, good for clearing blocks. anything that you need to just sort of like, not just like clear out, but also raise the vibration of. It's good for bringing in money. It is. It's really good for bringing in money. You can even keep a bay leaf in your wallet. It's beneficial for that, or in your purse, you know. You can make a floor wash, put it across thresholds, wash your door down, you know, with it. It's good stuff. It brings in a lot of like blessing energy. Okay, so let's check it out. I'm excited to see this deck. Let's see, on the back it says, you are the medicine. Open an ancient portal to discover the powerful connection between the healing wisdom of plants and their astrological rulers with this unique 55-card oracle deck and guidebook. Each richly illustrated card depicts a sacred plant ally and its planetary correspondences, while the guidebook illuminates the traditional medicinal applications, ceremonial uses, spiritual messages, animal guides, and symbolic meanings associated with these important herbs, trees, flowers, and mushrooms. I just thought that looks so cool. And I already really like the feel of it with the artwork just from the outside. Little ASMR. It comes in a nice, like, sturdy box. So this is good, you know, if you want to keep your cards in good condition. I always intend to. And then my cards get really threadbare. Has a nice book, okay? Again, you know, small book, simple book, but good quality, okay? It's not some, like, flimsy piece of paper. It's an actual book here. We'll leave that out because I'm not going to be familiar with this at all. Of course, if the plant is familiar to me and I know a bit about its metaphysical properties, I will bring that in. But otherwise, I plan on us reading and learning together the associations and where these associations have come from. I think that'll be really cool. It's a learning experience. It's a learning experience. I love to learn new things. Ooh, very cool. I like it. Okay, so here's the cover art on the back. I love it. Ooh, nice. The first card, Calendula, purity. Oh, that is so calendula. Calendula is so sweet. It's very soothing too. St. John's wort, radiance. Ooh. Rosemary, ancient memory. Ooh, I love these cards. The symbolism is so beautiful. Look at this. Rosemary is very protective. It's purifying. It's excellent for clearing the lungs. And the lungs are where we tend to store grief. So a good way to release grief is to do steam inhalations. Just get a nice basin of boiled water, and then you can add fresh rosemary to it and tent your head and breathe deeply. It breaks up all the congestion in your lungs, but it also creates like breathing room for the grief to come up and out. And it gives this feeling of warding and protection, but also love. It holds a real strong love charge. It makes it safe for you to open to love. So for those of you that really feel like you're struggling with that a lot, you're having a hard time sinking into the softness of your heart, or you feel like you've kind of been disconnected there, or have gone cold, or just are having trouble opening up the heart center again, rosemary is excellent. Ooh, yes, we got rue. Rue is excellent for clearing away any kind of pox, any kind of hex energy, malevolent energy, crossed energy, jinxed energy. It's a great curse breaker. Rue is very traditional to use that, and says protection there. Ancient memory is what came in with rosemary. I got so on that I don't even know if I said that or not. Blue lotus, intuition. Beautiful. These cards are gorgeous. I'm so glad I got this. Sage, blessing. Beautiful. Also speaks ancestors to me. Padiarco, metamorphosis. Ooh, this is some juicy symbolism here. Look at that. Wow. These are so cool. Babansana, trust. Chamomile, inner peace. Oh, so sweet. Chamomile is just so sweet and gentle and soft. I love Roman chamomile. I miss my Roman chamomile. I haven't had that essential oil in a long time. It's so lovely. Mugwort, psychic healing. Yes, very traditional, magical herb. Psychic healing, psychic sight, dream work. It's good for all of that sort of working in the in-between spaces, working within the liminal spaces, energy. Really good for dream work. Essential in dream pillows, I think. I love Damiana, the beloved. Oh, yes. Yes. Ooh, Venusian energy there, I see. And I like there's the raven there associated with Libra. That's pretty cool. I love Damiana. Ooh, and it's 11, just like Justice. That's very cool. Damiana is so intoxicating. Wow. If you've had Damiana, you know Damiana is wonderful. It just, ooh, it makes you feel so juicy. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, rose, love. Beautiful. I love this. Motherwort, number 13, strength. I like this a lot. Very cool. It's interesting. It still has like some of the similar like symbolism. I mean, to me, it's interesting because you have, I wonder if motherwort, I don't know, but if I had to guess from looking at this card, I would say that motherwort is good for giving support in times of transition. I see that because I see the lion imagery is making me think of strength, the strength in the tarot, the strength to triumph over the past, but I'm also noticing this is like a crone energy. And then there's also, you know, sort of this symbolism of the womb space, the fertility here, the amniotic fluid. And I'm seeing these like, almost like maiden, mother, crone, like the 3 stages of life here. It's giving that vibe to me. Also Venusian energy. Interesting. Number 13 is normally associated with the other major transition in life, death, you know. So, and the Scorpio energy, so I find this very intriguing. Looks like that's rose quartz behind her. I have to know, because I don't know about motherwort. I've never worked with motherwort. Now I need to read this one, so I feel like this one's important for us, for this to come through. And this is how I'm going to do this read, where I feel like drawn to read messages for us about this next year that we'll be moving through. The next 13 moons, actually. That's what it would be in old time. That's how we would keep time back in ancient times. So I like that energy. 13 moon, there might also be like a message coming in here to get harmonized with the lunar cycles. Motherwort, strength. Leonoris cardiaca. Strength, essence of creation, connecting to the creatrix within. Fertility, birth, creativity, inner trust, that's upright. Reverse is weakness, feeling depleted, unopened heart, disappointment, disconnection from creation, lack of creativity. Astrological ruler Venus. The botanical name Leonoris cardiaca comes from the ancient Greek leon for lion and ora for tail, referring to the plant's leaves, which resemble a lion's tail. Cardiaca pertains to the herb's actions on the heart. As a whole, the name translates to lion-hearted, a term that speaks to motherwort's action on the physical cardiovascular system and the emotional spiritual heart. Motherwort has a strong history of use in both Europe and Asia and is associated with aiding mothers and women. Many cultures have used motherwort to honor their goddess of fertility because of the herb's association with Venus and the moon. It was considered a protective plant, especially useful in spells to guard pregnant women and their unborn children from envy or evil air. Interesting. It was often planted around the home or hung from doorways, and it was said to keep away unwanted guests, both physical and supernatural. Motherwort was either smoked or burned to use for smoke cleansing, as it would drive bad spirits out of the house. Many species of motherwort were used for heart protection and for counter magic to reverse a curse. Japanese folklore tells of a town where the main water source was a stream fed by rainwater trickling through hills of motherwort. The inhabitants of the village drank daily from this stream and were bestowed with extraordinarily long life, up to 130 years old. Ancient Greeks used motherwort to treat depression, anxiety, heart palpitations, and nervousness in pregnant women. In traditional Chinese medicine, motherwort is used to invigorate the blood. Guidance, like the radiance of a lion's heart. Motherwort's energy builds inner trust and confidence. The lion-hearted motherwort is representative of the beauty we possess when we own the power of our gifts and creativity. The goddess sits centered as the lion leans on her in a state of peaceful delight, symbolizing the unwavering faith we must keep as we transcend old fears. Venus, her planetary ruler, is like a midwife to our happiness, channeling how we accept and transmit our heart's desires. Find new ways to facilitate creativity that honor and reveal your passions and strength. Devote yourself to the fertility of your gifts and courageously accept your divine destiny. Ooh. What a message. What a message. Coming in quite strongly around Venus. So Taurus, Libra. Also, wherever you have Venus in your chart could provide a clue about where your gifts lie in this coming year and what you want to continue to strengthen and nurture. Got Leo energy coming in very strongly with that as well. And I'm going to say Scorpio with that 13. It does bring in the way that what we want to birth can come to an end if we're not really nurturing it, strengthening it with our care and our attention. Also clearing out opposing energy that would block. Sometimes those blocks come from within us. They're parts of ourselves that need to die away and be shed. Wind's picked up out there. There's all these leaves falling away from the oak out back. I love that. Wow, that's a beautiful card. I like these. I like these a lot. I'm so glad I got this. Okay, we have 14 hibiscus, joy. 15 yarrow, harmony. Yarrow is wonderful for healing related to matters of the past. It also has sort of a nostalgic, kind of everlasting quality to it. Mucuna, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Mucuna, journey. That one looks quite interesting. It's even got some of the tower symbolism. You see that there with the lightning? Very interesting. Godakola, excellent for memory. This is higher consciousness, number 17. Interesting that we brought in nostalgia, and then comes in this piece around memory, and there's the lightning symbolism there too, like synapses firing off. There's something maybe that will be remembered, something that will be remembered that is like an activating moment for the higher consciousness, something that's been forgotten. It might be something that resurfaces in the consciousness over the next year. 18, lion's mane, leadership. Been picking up that energy. It's like there's awakening happening, but it's not an awakening of something new coming in. It's actually what's always been there, just like the vaults are being opened and this treasure is being released into our conscious awareness. And then there's an activation of it that influences what we start bringing forward in our lives. Tulsi, ooh, I love Tulsi. Wealth, 19. Tulsi is an excellent adaptogen. It helps the body combat stress. Great blessing basil. It's also known as holy basil. Has so many beneficial uses. And yes, it can bring prosperity. That's another metaphysical benefit of Tulsi. 20, lavender weaver. These cards are gorgeous. Nettle, action. Ooh, it's got the snake medicine coming in with that. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly either. Number 22, Jargon Sacha, transfiguration. This has got tower symbolism in this too. There's a lot of tower symbolism coming out here. Number 22. I'm drawn to this one. I feel like I need to read this one for us. 22. Yes, what comes after the world? Well, number 22. Jargon Sacha comes after the world turns. We always wonder what's on the other side of the world. I mean, it normally starts back at the Fool, but not in this deck. So let's see. I found this really interesting. In moving through it, there's a lot of symbolism that mirrors the symbolism in the tarot. So I find this fascinating to see this tower imagery here again. Looks like we got some Mars energy coming in with this one too, and that might be Pluto there as well, I have to say. Yep, Mars and Pluto. Jargon Sacha. Here's how it's spelled. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Of course, it's going to come through backwards for you all there, but Dracontium Lauretans. Okay, that's the Latin name. Upright, unforeseen change, breakdown, transfiguration, poison transmuted, evil neutralized, rising from the ashes. Yes. Reversed, crisis, destruction, black magic, bad intentions, sorcery, poison, being made humble. Oof. Yes, you want to make sure you're on the right side of that hedge, man. Damn. Yeah, we don't want it reversed. I like how these cards get really specific, though. I'm going to enjoy working with these. Astrological ruler, Mars and Pluto. So yeah, definitely like that tower charge there. Also Scorpio energy coming in there, as well as Aries energy. Jargon Sacha is a signature plant, as its indigenous uses directly mirror its appearance. Its mottled coloring calls to mind a poisonous snake native to the Amazon, and local villages use the starchy root as an anti-venom. In Peru and Ecuador, the snake and plant are both called Jargon Sacha or fertilans. In Brazil, the snake is named Jararaca and the plant Erva jararaca, which translates to snake herb. In the Amazon, the bloody resin of this plant is used in many rituals of protection against all spiritual sicknesses. Bilis, bile, rage. Hechizos, hexes, maldeoyo, evil eye, mal evil wind, and envidia, envy, and protection against brujos, malvados, black magic sorcerers. Ooh. Considered a neutralizer of the highest order, Jargon Sacha converts any intended harm or intense evil into benevolent energy. Indigenous tribes in Guyana have employed it as an antidote for stingray wounds, spider bites, and poison dart arrow wounds. Other indigenous cultures believe that beating the legs and feet with the leaves of Jargon Sacha acts as a snake repellent. In addition to being an anti-venom, the powdered tuber is used as an antiviral for asthma, lung inflammation, whooping cough, parasites, and menstrual disorders. Baths of Jargon Sacha were also common for those with gout, arthritic pain, and similar imbalances. Jargon Sacha's staggering power to neutralize the strongest of known poisons and protect the body from vigorous viruses is some of the many reasons it falls under Mars's and Pluto's rulership. Both planetary bodies like Jargon Sacha overwhelm and activate to transform, igniting both destruction and resurrection, literally and archetypally. Guidance, watch your back. Jargon Sacha represents radical change and breakdown. This card can mean that someone or something is harming your energy. Ooh, okay, good to be aware of. Interesting how it comes in with nettle, because nettle is often used as something for like warding or creating boundary lines. It's also good for doing like cleansing work. So that's really interesting. If this applies to you, remember that the darkest of energies that bring crisis or unforeseen changes can be transmuted into benevolence. Even the strongest of poisons can be medicine. The first step in neutralizing is recognition. The second step is removing fear and insecurity, absolutely. And the third step is reconstruction of the self. Examine your life from a third-person perspective. Draw upon universal forces to transmute the environment, people, or situations that are depleting your life force. And the best way to do that is internally. It's within the self. It's all about the energy that you hold, maintaining your energy here. Interesting. Very interesting. Strong Aries and Scorpio energies coming in there. Also Capricorn being influenced by that, and the North Node right now. Pluto is currently in Capricorn. Aries is in the North Node. So this can also sort of alert us to things we need to be aware of as far as blockages to transforming our fate into destiny. Making sure that we're not taking on energy that isn't ours to hold, that we are focusing on transmuting that energy at this time. That was a very, very meaty one. That was interesting. 23, milk thistle, peaceful warrior. Ooh. Little badger medicine coming in there. Medicine woman medicine coming in there. All right. Ooh, 24, tobacco offering. Yes, tonight is a wonderful night. Offer up a little tobacco to your ancestors if you got it. They love it. Tobacco is also known as spirit candy, so it does please the spirits and invites in blessing. It comes in with Pluto and Mars energies again. Cat's claw, number 25, purification. Cordyceps, revival, number 26. Ooh, very cool. Mushroom energy there. Coming in with Jupiter. Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. Interesting. Reishi, number 27, retreat. What a cool deck, man. Elder, number 28, wisdom. Ooh, it's got all the fairy around it. Yes, elder trees are sacred to the fairies. They like to hang out there. Schisandra. I love Schisandra. I've worked with Schisandra before. Number 29, grace. Wonderful nervine. I love Schisandra. It's like it's a nervine, but it's gently elevating at the same time. Number 30, echinacea, destiny. So pretty. Number 31, cannabis, detachment. That's interesting. I wouldn't have given it that quality. I wouldn't have given it that quality. That's interesting. Number 32, comfrey, completion. Looks like we got some sea goat energy coming in with comfrey. Comfrey brings things together, mends. Arnica, number 33, teacher. That's some beautiful energy there. Got wolf medicine, the pathfinder, off in the distance there. Little grandmother energy there. Number 34, Mitragina. Mitragina, I think. Number 34, shape-shifting. Little dragonfly medicine there. 35, horsetail, patience. Number 36, coca, foresight. That's interesting too. That is very interesting. Huh. Rhodiola, number 37, wisdom. Number 38, cacao, initiation. Oh, beautiful. Initiation into the sweetness, initiation into the heart. Looks like we got a little hummingbird medicine here, some sacred heart medicine. Cacao ceremonies are another beautiful way to honor the ancestors. Some of you may be taking part in that. Number 39, ginkgo, breakthrough. Some like Ace of Swords energy. Number 40, ginseng, magician. '41, poppy dream. 42, Amanita, conduit. I used to find these all the time. Huge ones. Huge ones. Those mushrooms, man. Huge ones. I used to find them all the time out at Regal Park in Sebastopol, California. 43, passion flower. Beautiful. I love passion flower. Passion flower is excellent. It's excellent for just soothing, smoothing. It has a real softening quality. It's excellent if you're dealing with any kind of like nerve kind of issue, or if you're feeling worried or anxious. In fact, they've done a lot of studies with passion flower, and it can be just as effective, if not more so, than medications for anxiety. Of course, I'm not telling you that you should go and get off medication if you take something for anxiety, but it is something to explore. You might want to explore it a little bit, or if you've been dealing with anxiety and considering starting medication, you might want to explore passion flower. Dr. Andrew Wheel has an excellent website, and he talks about passion flower, and he's an integrative medicine doctor. He works both with holistic medicine and traditional Western medicine. Okay, so he's a good fusing of both, and he will really give you, you know, an honest assessment there. So I encourage you to read up about it if you've been dealing with any of those issues, because it's extremely beneficial. You have to take it for a while. You have to take it for usually a good solid month for it to do what it needs to do, build up in the system. But it's nice, you know, it's nice. It's not like overly sedating or anything like that, you know. Sometimes people will use valerian for anxiety, but valerian's extremely sedating, and passion flower isn't. It's just a lot more of kind of like a buffering, a softening. It's very, very nice. Valerian. Interesting that valerian came next. I didn't even see that. Yeah, valerian's a little more of a heavy hitter, also known in its medical form as Mother's Little Helper. Valium is derived from valerian. Number 44 there. Acceptance. Interesting. Ah, yes, mandrake. Sensuality. Okay. Number 45, mandrake. Oh, there's so much mythos around mandrake. Mandrake is one I've been wanting to read on for a while, so perhaps we will do that soon. Oh, let's check it out because I've been bringing this in recently. It's actually come in a few reads. Angel's Trumpet, number 46, Death. Yes, we're going to read this one because this one has been coming in quite a bit in my readings recently. So I know that this plant ally wants to share a message with us, and it's appropriate, death. For it to come in on Halloween. That seems very fitting to me. Let's check this out here. Let's see what we got. Angel's Trumpet, Death. Brugmansia sanguinea. Brugmansia suaviolens. Upright, breakdown, cathartic transformation, rising from the ashes. Elimination, death, shedding the old. Reversed, ignoring the call, mental and emotional crisis, illusion, shattered, refusing reality, astrological ruler, Pluto and Mars. So all of these cards that have been drawn to are bringing in the Pluto-Mars energy. That seems what is really at the forefront for the collective right now. And I think it's interesting because Pluto is associated with that energy of Hades, and that's so south. It's like as far south of the heavens as you can go, right? And then you have the North Node, Aries. So it's speaking of these like two polarities. I find it really fascinating. But also what's coming in is that rebirthing energy. You notice it's not just talking about what's coming to a close or what's going through a transformation or transfiguration, but also what is about to rise out of those ashes. And there's been indication of this like creative energy coming in. So I like this. I like this. It's very fitting. Reversed, ignoring the call, mental and emotional crisis, illusion, shattered, refusing reality. Astrological ruler, Pluto, Mars. Angels' trumpets have an intoxicating scent and flowers that resemble angelic horns aimed downward, symbolizing the call of the angels to humanity. Plants in the Brugmansia genus and relatives like Daturas have a rich history of use among shamans and magic practitioners, even though they are poisonous. Some South American indigenous groups like the Kamsa, Jivaro, and Ingano initiate their children at a young age into the path of curandissimo, becoming a healer by ingesting angel's trumpet during a flower ceremony. Jivaro boys who walk the shamanic path are given the medicine at the age of 6 to acquire an external vision-producing soul that lets them communicate with ancestors called Arutam Wakani. Boys and their fathers go on long pilgrimages to sacred waterfalls where they engage in sacred bathing, fasting, and drinking of tobacco water. Then the angel's trumpet juice is ingested to effect contact with the supernatural, during which the Arutam Wakani appear as jaguars and anacondas and enter the boys' bodies. Curanderos, healers within many traditions, incorporate angel's trumpet into master plant brews like ayahuasca to enhance astral traveling and the spiritual experience. Other cultures around the world, including in Tibet, have also used these important poisonous plants within their practice. Many caution against the thoughtless use of Brugmansia and Datura, which can be severely toxic and cause the kind of strong hallucinations and delirium that only experienced shamans should use for divination and healing. It's interesting because Carlos Castaneda, people often think of Carlos Castaneda and they automatically associate him with peyote because he was initiated into the plant medicine of the Yaqui Indians in Mexico. And he worked with Don Juan. He was a professor at a university, and he got a special grant to study the use of psychotropic plants within indigenous tribes. And he chose to go to Mexico, and he hooked up with this Yaqui Indian Don Juan and his teacher, ultimately Don Gennaro, and they initiated him into all these plant medicines. And he had to do it the old school way. That was the rule. He had to do it according to their terms, right? It wasn't about like going to some like resort getaway. Like he went through a real initiation into the plant medicines. But he said that his real teacher was Datura. He worked with Datura quite a bit. So there might be like some initiation process coming in here. We collectively might be preparing ourselves to go through a major spiritual initiation here. A teaching cycle that requires that an old form of ourselves falls away so the new form can come into being. Let's see what this says here. Guidance, angels, trumpets, signals a time of catharsis or death. A deep emotional breakdown is due or near. You may feel lost in your own emotional despair, depression, shame, or unworthiness. But know the angels of discernment and darkness are here to support you. Coming eye to eye with the darkest feelings within yourself catalyzes the greatest awakening. Deeply pause, let go of control, and witness the broken pieces within yourself with loving awareness. The medicine of the bat, yes, the rebirth energy, symbolizes the need for a ritualistic death of relations, situations, or aspects of life. Bat, like angels' trumpets, signals catharsis and rebirth, signaling literal or metaphysical death of old patterns and worn-out habits. Understand that you can reconstruct at any time, regardless of how shattered you might feel. And that's an interesting thing, you know. You hear a lot of people, modern shamans, you know, talk about how they walk that path. And I've always said, you know, you don't call yourself shaman. That's something that is a title, a name that is bestowed upon you. I don't really feel like, you know, I almost don't really feel it's legit. That's just my take on it. If somebody's calling themselves a shaman, because there's, in a sense, there's a little bit of ego that comes along with that sort of betrays the process that a shaman goes through. A shaman goes through a complete shattering of the old identity, the old way of relating to themselves and to existence is completely severed. You know, it is really like being born into a new conscious state of awareness. And a lot of the initiations that take place are intense, brutal. You know, they're not something that are done in a retreat. You know, it doesn't really work like that. So it's interesting how much that term shamanism is thrown around and isn't really recognized. What that really means for one to be called shaman, because I don't feel it's something that anyone calls themselves really. I think if you really talk to a shaman, and I've known a couple, you know, if you talk to a shaman, they'll tell you it's the last thing you would ever want to be called because of the heavy weight of walking that particular road. So I find that interesting here. I find that very interesting. So, you know, you may have gone through something that felt like it was very shattering, and you may be trying to figure out, how do I bridge this divide within myself that seems to be this kind of like Bardo space where I feel like I'm not quite who I am becoming yet. It's in a process right now, but I still feel very much like in that unidentifiable space. And we can allow that space to feel like it's a place of severance or shattering, Or instead we can kind of look at it through that lens of that state of chrysalis where everything dissolves. It just hasn't taken its new form yet. I think it's more helpful instead to look at it as a shattering. It doesn't even need to be something so sharp-edged necessarily. It may have felt sharp, what caused the unraveling of ties that bound one to an old way of identifying themselves or viewing their life or understanding their purpose or what they're here to do. But it doesn't have to be a state that you live in, although the initial impact of that cutting away of the attachment to the old reality can feel severe. We don't need to make a home in that space. And we don't need to encounter the unknown with fear. It can be something that is just simply the undefinable. And when things are undefinable, they're actually at their peak point of power and potency, because that means in that undefinable space that it can be any of it. It can be all of it. It's that state of infinite possibility and potentiality. So I find that when in that kind of space where you feel like, okay, I'm just sort of moving through darkness here, and I feel the weight of the moment. People often feel the weight of the unknown because they can feel that it's all those things at once. And there's power in that. But people often will encounter that pure potency of potentiality, that pure raw power with fear, when it doesn't need to be something to be feared at all, but rather an opportunity to actually step in to the creativity of that moment and reframe it a little bit like, okay, anything is possible now. And why in that space of anything is possible now do we want to start to fuel it and charge that vision with things that are fear-based? Why do we feel like we have to try to rationalize the experience or get it to fit in a nice, neat border or try to control the experience at all? It's the moment of truly experiencing non-attachment, where you can just simply let go to the feeling of it without trying to label it anything. That's when we really move into the present. See, if you move into the present moment, nothing is definable. You're just experiencing everything very authentically, very spontaneously. And that's when we're also most in alignment with ourselves and with our path. So really, it's sort of, I view that initiation process as that. It's where you're moving from a state of consciousness where everything needs to have set definition to instead moving into this like creative play space where it could be anything. It can be all things. And that doesn't have to have a label of good or bad attached to it. Now, naturally, you know, when you initially go through a very painful experience, there is a grieving process and there's the stages of grief. And you can go to a place where you can experience that initial sharpness of, you know, the severing of whatever connection or situation or state of mind, you know, because sometimes it's just something going on within us where we're trying to figure out who we are at this stage of our life. It can be prompted by many things, but usually initially when there's that kind of an experience that takes you out of your way of seeing the world and you're suddenly in kind of unknown territory, it can be painful, and we can go through that process of having to integrate a lot of the fear and a lot of the anger, and these are all natural states of being. But it's important also that we get to a point where we no longer have to live in that initial impact, you know, and we can cultivate that through presence. You know, often the things that we fear, when we kind of like make room for them and we let them in and we just sit with it, or we face it squarely. And for many people, it's the fear of not having control, which is ironic because we really don't. We don't. I mean, we have control over our actions in the moment, but we can't control all the variables. And that's part of the experience. It's the true nature of reality. But that's the thing that scares people the most, that they don't have control, and that they are just, you know, moving through this experience and having to adapt, having to have resilience against how the winds may blow, how the current may shift, how things may fall away, things may be ripped away. That is actually a time of potency, because what comes through that is when you learn how to be in a place of acceptance with it and you don't try to control it, and you're like, okay, so here I am and I have absolutely no control. And can I just be okay with that I have absolutely no control, and anything can happen here, and that anything can be something absolutely fantastic and wonderful. And in fact, in this moment that I have no control, I actually ironically have the most power in my hands, because I'm aligned with the energy that is the power of all that is. I'm in harmony with that creative force right now. So never have I been more powerful than when I recognize I have no control at all. And then it's about letting that pure expression of the creative power come through me, from being in that place of being at peace with not having the control. That's when we bring our most pure, untainted manifestations through. So there's something about this. There might be a recognition. You might be going through something collective. We all may be going through something collective where we recognize how much we don't have power to affect all the variables, how much we don't have control. And that as soon as we acknowledge that and we're at peace with that, we find that the power has actually been with us all along. And that's when the true power is expressed through how we show up in life and how our road opens for us and what we bring forward from this moment. Interesting energy from Angel's trumpet. Angel's trumpet makes me think of Gabriel blowing his horn. It makes me think of the walls of Jericho coming down. It makes me think of finally finding the way through. Yes, the tower falling of sorts, but also the rising up energy that comes out of that with judgment. Interesting. I could see how you could go really deep with this deck. I mean, we already have, and we're just like perusing it together. Number 47, Skull Cap, Stillness. Another one I love, Kava Kava, 48, Community. Hmm, 49, Psilocybin, Commune. A little fairy energy hanging out there, having a good old time. I may have been familiar with that one in the past. It's been quite a long time, man, I have to say. Ayahuasca, number 50, Rebirth. So it's bringing all the plant medicines in here. It's bringing in the psychotropic plants too. For you psychonauts out there, we have number 51, Dragon's Blood, Anima Mundi. I love Dragon's Blood. That's one of my favorite resins to work with. It's excellent. It's excellent for manifestation. It's excellent for protection. Excellent for warding. It's just really all around good purpose one. Great for just bringing blessing energy in around your petitions too. Number 52, lemon balm, nurture. Number 53, dandelion. Oh, wounded healer. I think that might be Chiron it has there with Jupiter. Oh, how fitting. Also sacred to fairy, the dandelion. And of course, those dreams that we make on dandelion seed heads when we blow on them and release our highest hopes to the winds of change. Number 54, yes, ashwagandha, purpose, absolutely. Ashwagandha, strong like horse, root medicine. There you go, Ted. Coming in with moon energy there, also Leo. Okay, balancing masculine, feminine. I actually think of ashwagandha as very masculine, but I like its partner in shatavari, okay? That brings in more the lunar quality, the lunar essence. When you take them together, again, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, but anything I'm bringing in here, please, you know, before you go taking things, experimenting with things, do consult your own healthcare provider, okay? Make sure things are in alignment for you. And I'm just sharing the teachings that I'm aware of here in terms of working with these elements. But ashwagandha is another great adaptogen. It's very strengthening, you know. It will make you strong like a horse. It will. Great if you feel like, you know, you have depletion in your adrenals, okay? Good for nerve-related issues as well. Excellent. It's building. It's building. It makes you strong. Makes you strong, man. Gives you get up and go. And also for men, if you're get up and go, got up and went, it's good for that too, okay? It helps out like that too, okay? And we have number 55, Palo Santo, guardian. I love that. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, so we're going to do just a little reading. I'm only going to go one round with these cards because I could be here forever with these. I really wanted to take my time with these though, okay? Maybe I'll shuffle these this way. I don't want to ruin this deck. I'm going to go ahead and bring in all the signs, and we'll just let whatever signs want to come forward in the read come forward. Do know that we can all express the signs at any time, all of the signs. But there might be a special message coming through in relation to your planetary placements or an astrological sign in particular. So I will bring that in, but I'm going to bring you all in here. This is for all of us. And since this is the time for those on that side of the hedge to celebrate the new year and the turning of the wheel, let's just see what medicine wants to come forward for us this year. Let's do a little divining of the future. What message do you have for the collective here at BroadCoven for this next year, spirits? Spirits who are with us now, our ancestors, those who have gone before us, our guides. What guidance do you have for us at this time to open our roads, to protect our paths ahead, to bring us blessing and bounty, to align with our due north, our North Star, our destiny, to root our legacy in the future? What guidance do you have for us as we prepare to travel through the next 13 moons and all that is to come in this next turning of the wheel. What guidance do you have for us, spirits? Okay. Bottom of the deck. Ooh, I love it. Number 15, Yarrow, Harmony. And what I am seeing here is it does look like something is being balanced. I see those scales are being balanced by grace in this situation. There is a healing here of old karmic cycles, and there is a release. And I say that because that triagram there is Li. And triagram Li is the element of fire. We see the kindling there. So there is an opportunity to bring healing here. But I'm also picking up the energy of the cauldron of Dagda, because there is water that is coming down from the yarrow. And it's giving me that energy of temperance, okay? The balancing out, the water and the fire, also the alchemy. And, you know, getting something good cooking that can nourish all, that can bring healing and bring about harmony here. I love this. Connected to Venus energies. So do look at what sign your Venus is in. Do look at what house your Venus is in. And if you are a Taurus or you are a Libra, or you have one of those signs strongly aspected in your chart, or your second house, your seventh house, maybe areas of importance, your relationships, your business relationships as well, what you value, how you value another. There's something here that is balancing out. There's something here that is healing. All right, let's see what we got here. What is coming in? That's coming in with number 15. So something that was an unhealthy influence, or felt like a binding influence, restricting or imprisoning influence, in some case is being released here. The key is being obtained to set oneself free from a particular gilded cage, and something nourishing is coming in, something that brings healing, something that brings restoration. It's been a long time coming, but there's something that has been transformed and transmuted here spiritually that is bringing about this renewal energy. What is coming in here over this next year? That's a good way to start. It's coming out upright, so we like that. We like that. Let's see what happens on the shuffle. Anything can happen on a shuffle. Let's see what hand we're dealt over these next 13 moons. What does Spirit want to tell us about our future? This is taking its time. As the storm clouds gather outside, I wonder if we'll have a rain. I would love a good storm to blow through tonight. That would delight me. I love a good storm, let me tell you. These are taking their time. They're taking quite a good time here. Well, you know, the message has to come in the right alignment. That may be a message too. You may feel like things are taking a lot of time. You may be losing time. You may feel like there's nothing to make any distinction of time anymore, because one day has been kind of bleeding into the next. Ah, that's interesting the way it flipped over. Cacao, number 38, again, 11 energy, justice energy, speaking of coming into a place of balance. Okay, so the old karmic cycle is closing. The heart is cracking open. It's not broken, it is broken open, and it's being exalted here. I do see a rising up of energy. We see a crowning energy coming in here. Again, Venusian energy. So this to me is speaking of the Libra South Node being transformed. It's rising up into the Empress energy and heading due north. There's some kind of nourishment that is going to come in here through the ancestral bloodline, and it sparks a joy. Initiation. It's the initiation into a new cycle. And there's great perspective that comes with this initiation as well. There's a lot of strengthening that comes through getting a higher view of a situation. And sort of piggybacking off of that energy we brought in earlier about not feeling that sense of attachment. When you're not attached, when you don't have to have a plan for how things unfold, that's the space where the magic can enter. It's also when you can get a higher view of a situation. It helps you see elements in play that you couldn't see before. And sometimes that's all that's needed to have a new sense of balance and for a road to open. But this is definitely an initiation coming in here. It brings some kind of flowering. It brings something to bloom. And there's some kind of guide coming in as well for this initiation. So I do feel like there's somebody over this next year that comes onto our path that presents an opportunity for initiation. Now, this can even be a soulmate coming to the path that is your initiation into the temple of love. They crack your heart open. And there's something about taking that risk to experience the transformation of allowing yourself to be changed by love, by really letting love into your life and allowing yourself to be in that place without any of the attachment to the old story about how things have gone in the past. Really beautiful energy here. Okay. Let's see what it has to say. 38, cacao. Might want to even bring a little of that cacao medicine in. You can get some ceremonial cacao. Maybe make your own kind of ritual of that. Cacao could be coming in as an ally to support us in this initiation. Cacao, initiation, Theobroma cacao, upright, which it's upright, initiation, spiritual test, revelation, access to the cosmic heart, divine love, light beings, channeling languages of light. Okay. Astrological ruler, Uranus and Venus. So if you're ruled by Venus, Libra, Taurus is coming in quite strongly. We also know that if you're here in the collective, you're moving through this energy. This is the energy of the South Node. It is the Libra South Node. We're all moving through this territory right now. And we are looking to connect to that more exalted expression of the Libra archetype. But I would also say pay close attention to your Venus placement. Venus placement is coming through right now as front and center because it's what's needing to be transformed in order to arrive at the North Node. So I would say really pay attention to your Venus placement. Also, look at your progress chart. Look at your placements as far as what's going on with your transits. Where is Venus right now? What sign is it in? It may not be in the same sign as your natal chart. You know, everything continues to move as we move throughout our life. So this is why it's important to pay attention to the transits. Pay attention to all of that, okay? As well as the house of Taurus and the house of Libra. So there also may be some kind of initiation we're going through at this time where first it's about us initiating into a higher expression of who we are in the world so that we can find that in the mirror of another with the Libra counterpart energy coming in there with that Venusian energy, okay? Pay attention to what house your Venus is in as well. That is significant too and can highlight where this initiation may be coming in for you, how it will be expressed in your life. As empires rose and fell through time, all Mesoamerican civilizations, starting with the Mayo, Chinchipe, 5,500 years ago, coveted cacao for its nutritional power and supernatural properties. Cacao was also a pillar of their economies and an integral part of religious rites, appearing as a key element in many spiritual ceremonies, death rites, and sacrifices. In the Mayan creation story, Popol Vuh, gods created humans out of foods, including cacao, and in another Mayan myth, their god, Kukulkan, or feathered serpent. Oh, interesting. That's bringing in something for me. It makes me think of Aida Huedo. And that message was coming in about the rainbow serpent earlier this year too. So I find that interesting that's coming in. Brought cacao to the people. The Aztecs have a similar story wherein their god, Quetzalcoatl, I'm probably saying that wrong, Quetzalcoatl, I do not know how to pronounce it, Quetzalcoatl, I probably totally butchered that, my apologies, came from the sky to give them cacao. In a 1552 Aztec book of herbal medicine called the Badenius Codex, cacao flowers are noted to treat fatigue. In the Florentine Codex from 1590, prescriptions of cacao beans, maize, and the herb, oh my goodness, another one I cannot pronounce. It is Tlacoxochitl. Wacohitl? I don't know. It is Calandria anomala. Whew. All right. Testing my tongue tonight. Are used to alleviate fever, shortness of breath, and faintness of heart. There have been over 100 uses found in historical texts, all of which correspond with Uranus's healing energetics. The plant helps the nervous system of exhausted patients, improves weakness and mental fatigue, stimulates the kidneys, and helps with digestion and elimination. In addition to cacao beans, preparations of cacao bark, cacao butter or oil, leaves, and flowers have been used to treat burns, bowel dysfunction, cuts, and skin irritations. Guidance. Quetzal has flown into your cards today, symbolizing initiation. The sky gods are speaking and bathing your soul in liquid light as you traverse a series of spiritual tests. Quetzal is considered one of the highest divine apparitions, as it is associated to the snake god, Quetzalcoatl. I'll have to look it up. The feathered serpent, like cacao, both are considered precious heavenly gifts from the sky gods. These divine apparitions today are asking you to deeply tune into the cosmic heart. Let it move you, open yourself to receive the holy gifts provided, and listen carefully to the light language pouring through them. Keep elevating your frequency, rooted in unconditional love. Step out of your own way and allow your heart to blossom. Know that through this divine love, we experience the cosmic heart, the gateway to spirit. Well, that's quite the message and quite a mouthful. I'm gonna have to look up how you pronounce that. I've never been good with pronouncing any of the Mayan gods' names or the Aztec gods. I'm just not familiar with the language, so I will look that up and figure that out. Little testing there, but first test. Interesting though, because the rainbow serpent came in earlier this year, and the rainbow serpent is known through traditions all over the world, Aboriginal traditions all over the world. There's stories of the rainbow serpent, a flying serpent. Aida Wado brings the rainbow after the storm, the promise after the storm. So I feel like this is a message of something's coming in to crack us open. And isn't that interesting? We had the message come in earlier about the shattering, or that sense of being broken. No, you're not broken. You're broken open. You can only get to this sweetness, right, if you crack open that outer shell. So there's something that's being broken open here that exalts the heart. It uplifts, it brings joy, and it brings an initiation into a higher rung of the spiral. It brings a different perspective. With Uranus there, it's definitely like a wild card element. So this is when things turn out quite unexpectedly. This is when wild gifts come onto the path. This is when you did have the rug pulled out from under you, but it's the best thing that could have ever happened because it aligns you up so perfectly with your destiny. So expect a lot of unexpected things to come down the pike this year. Expect a lot to crack you open to the sweeter side of life, the sweeter tastes of life, the sweeter experiences of life. Things that will really nourish you on a soul level, things that are going to bring about a flowering. You've stayed tight in the bud for a long time, and now it's time to really come into full bloom. It's like that seed of potential will crack open. So be mindful of the seeds that you plant, because they are what will cause your garden to grow and what kind of harvest you will have moving forward into this next year. But it looks like balance, it looks like justice, it looks like alignment, it looks like beauty, it looks like love, and something quite unexpected and unanticipated, which is the best, the wild gifts that come through. And I'm going to go ahead and do a cut of the deck just to see any other messages that want to come in here. And we'll close this out. Psilocybin, commune. Okay, all right. So this is just the energy about tonight. Just drop in and experience the magic. Experience the magic that wants to come through for you tonight. Connect with nature, or connect with the energies that you feel swirling about you. See what kind of magic they weave through your imagination or your dream space tonight. I also feel like as we move into this next turning of the wheel, there's a lot of magic that will be weaving through our life. Life is going to take on a different kind of tone. We're already sort of experiencing this. It's like we know that everything has changed, and we're kind of figuring out how do we move with this new flow? How do we move in this new space that we're co-creating here? And I think this is really the energy that's going to carry us forward as we step into the dawning of the age of Aquarius. We do have Pluto that will be coming in on November 19th. We'll make that transition out of Capricorn into Aquarius. So that's certainly going to open things up more. It will bring a little bit more of that spirited energy forward, a little bit more of the risk taker, rebellious energy, willing to step outside of the box, do things differently. And so I do feel like this is sort of like the merrymaking, like the awakening of, yes, the awakening. See, she has a trumpet she's blowing there. The awakening of the magic in our lives, that creative energy. We can create this way together when we bring our energies together. So there will be a lot of communing that is happening too. Whatever we're coming into alignment with here, it's a soul alignment. This is also about communing with nature, you know, remembering where we come from, commune with your ancestors. Feel that sense of connection. Focus more on what connects rather than what separates. That's what communing is. It's when you come into such a state of harmonization with the other, or what you're observing outside of yourself, that you no longer can sense the separation. You are that. So this is about the awakening of that kind of consciousness too. Ooh. And on the other side here, we have Patriarcho, metamorphosis. So yes, transformation, rebirth energy. Look, we got the raven medicine there again. So we're definitely talking about some magic weaving through our lives. Got a little shapeshifter energy going on too. The masks are falling away. We're activating the wild wisdom. Beautiful energy and cleansing away the heaviness of the past. This is also sparking, you know, not only the release of what needs to be cleansed, the bad blood from the womb space, which is like the creative center that we all have, no matter our gender. It's the center of us. It's the sacral chakra, okay? This is about really cleansing away what's been blocking those channels of new beginnings, of creativity, of rebirth, experiencing a new cycle in our lives and making all things new again. So it's definitely, I see us, you know, transforming the energy of the South Node and activating this transformation in our lives. It brings some magic. It brings some sweet alignment, and it also brings initiation. So there will be, we know there will be tests ahead. But this is some beautiful energy coming in to support this process. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun diving into that deck and just hanging out. I didn't want to do anything like really formal today. I just felt like kind of hanging out, you know? Dropping in with the cards, doing a little reading, checking in with you all. We'll dive back into the structured readings tomorrow, but it's Halloween, you know. And I want to go out. I want to just grok the energy and sink into the magic and the mystery of it all and see what messages want to come in on those witching winds, which are really picking up outside. So thank you so much for sharing this space with me, and I hope that you have a wonderful Halloween, however you choose to celebrate, or Samhain, depending on what tradition you're in. We're going to have a few days here of the veil being at its thinnest and honoring this move through this transitionary period. So I'll be bringing in more stuff, but I do feel like just really sinking into the deliciousness of this energy right now. So we'll see what I bring in tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna just kind of free flow with it over the next couple days. This just really spoke to me though. I just wanted to drop in with you all, and I hope you enjoy dropping in with me. All right, take care, have a beautiful evening, and blessings on this next turning of the wheel.